So the question was, she had heard me say at some point that I, in order to kind of ramp up my social media and my following, I just started going live. And so, absolutely the truth, I was like, how in the world am I going to get people to pay attention to me on social media? Because, I mean, you guys see what it is today, but it was not that. I had no followers. I had like 1,700 friends on Facebook. There was no Instagram, there was no TikTok. I didn't even have those things when I got started, just so we're very, very clear. Everything you see has been built in the last 8 years because I was consistent for 8 years, okay? But the great thing that started it, the question she asked was specifically the live videos. I joined a live video challenge. It was a 30-day live video challenge, and I'm super duper competitive, and I love to win things. And so I was like, all right. And they were giving away a ring light. And at the time, I wasn't making enough money in network marketing to buy my own ring light. So I was going to do the live video challenge so I could win the ring light, so I'd be better on video. And so that was my initial why right there. And then it just occurred to me, again, I was like, so why wouldn't you just do 31 days? And then what would happen if I did it 32? And then what I seen during the contest was that there was only like 4 of us that actually did 30 days. It was a super easy contest to win because most people quit. And so I just kept going just to see what would happen if I didn't. And for the longest time, he was the only person that would jump on them. Like literally, there was no one else on Facebook jumping on my live videos except for him. And he was leaving all the comments. And then we heard this super groovy tip that if you get to 100 comments, then it'll boost you up an algorithm. So now he was really on it. Like now he was super on it. Like he was getting me to 100 comments quick so that I could get like 2 viewers. Which is really what happened. But the truth is, it wasn't, the thing I want you to take away from it was really about people taking me serious. And the longer I did something, the more they took me serious. And so everyone has their tipping point. I don't know what yours will be, but mine was just that they were like, okay, she's really going to do this thing and she's not going to go away. And then the second part of your question was, what did I talk about? So I did a twofer. Somebody had told me early on if I didn't work on this would take me out of the game long before anything else. And so I would read a self-development book and I would just teach what I learned that day. And so that took care of my live video content. And then you only have to know 10% more than someone that is watching you to teach them something. I just had to be tiny bit smarter than the person watching for them to feel like they were going to get value. And then that turned into me building my mindset and a wealth of knowledge in the process because you retain what you teach. So yeah, that's what it is. Oh, that's a great question too. I try to keep my videos, even today, my live videos at 10 minutes or under because like Kathy and Aaron said, people have this attention span of a goldfish. And so I really like to keep them short and sweet. Now, for instance, when I've shared my testimony, well, I mean, my God, that took like half a lifetime to do, right? I couldn't keep that under 10 minutes. But typically I try to keep them at under 10 minutes or under just so people will watch the replay because 80% of your viewers are going to be replay viewers anyways. And so it just, I don't even get caught up anymore of how many people are live. I certainly, just some quick tips, I never say, I'm going to hang on and wait for some people to jump on. I don't do any of that. I just immediately start talking and I immediately end the live and I get off because 80% of the people that are going to watch it aren't going to watch it live. The reason I would go live at night is because that was when I could typically get the most people to jump on. What I would tell anybody that watches this in this room or online is go live when you can commit to it. Go live when you have your highest energy. Now that I've learned that tip, that probably would have changed for me because I have my highest energy earlier in the day. And so that means I'm going to be better on video earlier in the day because honestly, if it's going to pop up in their feed, they're going to watch it or to remember to watch it. If you don't know what a Black Diamond is in our company, they earn $28,000 a month in base pay. So it's a big, 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 big rank. And Jerry Holfield, and his story is just so incredible. But the whole reason I'm even telling you about this is nearly his entire organization has been built with Amish people that don't have electricity, don't have internet, don't have social media. And so you can build a thriving business. You can, you absolutely can. I mean, and they're in another reason to get to an event so you can meet them. They're just such special people. They're just such kind, God-fearing, loving people. You would love to meet them. Now they do have social and they do some things on social now, but I mean, they definitely are inspiration for people like you who are like, can I actually make this thing work? You absolutely can.
Okay. Yeah. Point out Marla and Denise They built like wildfire hosting Friday night wellness nights at your church.
No, we had it in the community. We had
In the community.
Place. Yes.
Yeah. So they would just host a get together, have all of the products. Marla would do a little presentation, and all of a sudden she has all these rubies popping up. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, Friday night.
Back to.
Friday night wellness nights. We also have a couple ladies who go to like their little farmer market, things like that. So
And you can sell it there.
yeah, absolutely. And it's a great way to network with other people. So don't feel like you have to build this on social media. There's so many different ways. And if you can get a black diamond from the Amish, well.
There's actually a post, I've done it inside of the Wave Makers, our team group on Facebook, where I've had people who share, who've done vendor events, share what their setup looks like, everything they do, and there's hundreds of comments on that.
I do like an actual tent. I do a tent thing. And
Yeah, all of them do that.
And I'll probably order me a banner.
There's all kinds of information in the group on that. We learned this when we went to the mountain event, and there's 100 ways to cross the yard. That means there's 100 different ways that you can get to the top of this compensation plan. And so I choose to build mine online, and that's what I've done. But I don't have what you have. I don't have that community. I'm not real people-y in my own community. I'm people-y in the world. And it's weird, isn't it? It's super weird. I'm super introverted at home, and when I'm home, I'm home. But when you get me out in the world, so I totally understand what you're saying, and there's a ton of information in our group that we can get you added to, and you can see tons of how people are setting up and doing these events. They do them all the time and all over. So to answer your question, yes.
So now, I don't know how to get associates to join me that don't have any network marketing background. Like all of my customers love the products, and I did get like 6 people I've had join, but I don't know how to get out there to get more people that want to join. I do the lives, I do the reels, I do all the stuff.
Hi.
That's what I know. You are my biggest inspiration. I love your videos.
These are my favorite questions. And so, time and consistency. And that's not what you want to hear. You want me to give you a magic secret sauce to make it go faster, and there's not.
Yeah.
It's time and consistency, and only you know what you're doing consistently, right? Like, you guys can see me on social media posting the things, but what am I doing in Messenger behind the scenes? How many people am I following up with? How many people am I talking to? The faster you go, the faster you get to success. Erin said it, success loves speed. And so you just have to decide how fast you're willing to go and how much time you're willing to put into it. And that is different for everyone. There isn't a right or wrong answer to this, okay? Yeah. I mean, it just depends on the amount of time you're willing to put in the time that you aren't doing your regular job, right? And then the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And who are you reaching out to? Have you truly reached out to everyone? The answer is no all the time, right. For everyone, including me. There's no way I've talked to everyone yet. There's always a new someone to talk to, right? And so just getting faster at talking to people, faster at following up with people, faster for them getting from point A to starting with you. Because I consider every single person I meet the next person that'll be in my business. Mm-hmm. It might not be today, but if they hang out around me, whether it's on my socials or in person long enough, they can't help it. They're either going to become my customer or they're going to become an associate in my life because I never shut up about it. Mm-hmm. Ever. Yeah.
And I've gotten a lot of customers because people are like, what are you taking? Because, you know, you seem so happy and you're looking so good. And, you know, I've had weight up and down too my whole life, type 2 diabetes. And I do love the products and I talk about them all the time. It's just getting like the people. And I feel like I message a lot, but probably not.
And then
I'm trying to grow my
send
network.
messages to your leader and say, hey, how can I improve?
Yeah.
Because oftentimes, sometimes it's not that people aren't seeing enough messages, it's what they're saying can be changed and modified some.
Right.
Right? I am very short, sweet, and to the point. Kind of like Erin was showing up here and talking about. Like, I'm just very direct. Hey, are you ready to make a decision with me today?
Yeah.
I am small talk in me, poke me in the eyeball with a Sharpie. Like, let's just get to the point of why I'm talking to you. Like, I want to be your friend too. I do. I care about your family, your pets, and all the things. But do you want to make money with me?
Yeah.
Are you ready? You said you needed XYZ.
Right.
Also, maybe finding out why they need the money. Mm-hmm. why they need the product. A lot of times we aren't finding that out, and he just dove into it. If you don't know why somebody needs something, then you have no idea how you can help them get to that thing, right? Like if someone didn't know I was doing this because I want to be present for the grandkids, and it was just like, oh, she wants to make $1 million, then they couldn't nudge me and say, hey, I thought you said you were doing this to help with the grandkids, right? If you know why somebody wants to join you, what they need the money for, and then I say this to people all the time. They're like, I just don't think I can right now. And I'm like, if nothing changes, then what changes about the circumstance you told me about? What changes for you? Right? One lady, she was like, my husband won't give me money for haircuts.
Oh, God.
And I know that sounds, to so many people, that is. I do too. I'm like, what? You can't have a money for a haircut? But I was like, and then she wasn't saying, she was saying no, not doing the thing, not doing the thing. How are you ever going to get a money for a haircut, ma'am, if you don't do this?
Yes.
She signed up. She got the Jade bonus. Now she don't have to ask for dang money for a haircut anymore. Sometimes it's just that simple, but you got to know what it is that's going to pull them, right? You got to know, and I'm telling you, whether there are people we personally know that look like they have it all together. By all accounts, they are making 6 figures in their careers. They've got the big, beautiful house. They drive the nice, fancy cars. Their kids are best dressed in town, and everything is falling apart financially.
Yeah.
There is 2 categories of people who aren't making enough money and need it, or people who are already making good money and want ways to earn more. Everyone you know falls in those 2 categories, which means that leaves everyone on the table for you to tell to about Tranont. And it really isn't your job whether or not they say yes. It's just your job to present it to them. I'm so unattached to the outcome. Like, I want you to say yes. I want you to change your life. But my job is just to make sure you know about it and that you heard about it from me. Because here's what I know, friends, in this room. If you do not go tell them about sugar to fiber, if you do not go tell them about Activate, if you do not go tell them about what Tranont has their hands on, I can assure you at some point they will see Tina Joy Carroll on social media, because I'm never going to shut up. So do you want them to hear about it from me, or do you want them to hear about it from you? Right? Because eventually someone is going to share the video with someone that you know, because we're all connected some way, right? What is that? The 7 string, what is the strings thing? 6 degrees of separation.
6 degrees.
Like, eventually they're going to hear about it from somebody that's showing up more than you, putting out more content than you. So just don't let that happen. You can control that by simply making sure they hear about it from you. Make that your new goal. They gonna hear about it from me before they see Tina Joy Carroll's video.
I think it's important too. How many times do you think they have to hear from you? How many follow-ups?
Until they die.
Well, you do follow up till they say yes or die. But I was watching a presentation recently and they were talking about follow-up 5 times. The problem is that 73% of sales are made between the 7th and the 13th follow-up. So there are people that have followed for years, literally years. One that just joined for the last 18 months, and they live in our neighborhood. And they've watched the lifestyle, they've seen the family, they've seen the transition with Tina, but it took 18 months.
And she had no experience, and she came in. She signed up on Platinum, her husband signed up on Platinum, her mother-in-law signed up on Platinum, she had a friend at work to sign up on a silver pack, and she went Jade in 5 days with no experience. Because I said, if you're ready, then let's run, right? So.
I have multiple people who have said to me, oh, Karen, I have to become a product of the product before I can do this. Because we've been taught that in other, because I was a product of the product. But now I've got these multiple people who are saying this to me, and one of them is saying it and doesn't even take the product. She says, well, it doesn't really work. I said, well, what have you done? Let's tweak it. Oh, well, I don't ever have it around. I forget to take it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work because I forget to take it.
There's a key point. If you don't take it, it really, it's hard to work. Yeah.
I mean, we hear that a lot. We really do. And so what I like to tell people is, listen, we have a group full of people that have already gotten testimonies, and we can share their stories before you have your own. Because you made a buying decision without having your own testimony. You had to decide to buy the product to get a testimony. Let's share those testimonies and let's take people on the journey together. And so what I would encourage you to tell them is, listen, why don't we create our story with the people that we're bringing in and do it all together? Because especially as women, we love to do things together, right? We always partner up with our best friend and we're gonna do this together. And so have them partner up with you and get the result while they're sharing the journey of getting the result. Because long before it's physical, it's felt. And so you can start talking about how you feel better after one dose, right? Just like you said, I had a half bottle of collagen dropped off at my house, and the next morning I could see a difference in my face already, right? Like, and then even bigger than that, like you could drink and activate and just feel better after one drink, and that is a real testimony. Like, first of all, I loved the taste. How many of you have been on a diet of some sort and it was awful? I remember this one I did, and it was, oh God, I still have nightmares about it. It was apple cider vinegar, and you had to drink it straight. It was called the snake diet. It was awful. Like, if you just say it tastes good, we're already light years ahead of what's out there on the marketplace, right? So just encouraging them to take people on the journey with them and get started right away, and then share stories like the Parkers with them, that they didn't even have their product and they went Ruby. Sarah Hollingsworth, the exact same. She was already Ruby before she had her product. And so just being willing to share that with people, and here's the truth too. We're going to always be creating new products that you aren't going to have a story with to share, right? Like, we didn't have a Quench story. We were like, guess what? We've got Quench. Who wants to try it with me? Right? Guess what? We've got DHS. Who wants to try it with me? Guess what? We've got this sugar to fiber peel. You guys sold more sugar to fiber pills, and not one of you had ever seen it, touched it, sold it, knew what it. You didn't even know for sure if it worked. Right. And you were selling your faces off of it before you tried it. And so just remind them of that. And honestly, the testimony groups, and he did such a great job explaining those. Yes. It's filled with people already getting results. People buy stuff every single day that they go and read the reviews of complete strangers and make a buying decision off of complete strangers every single day on Amazon. They can do the same thing in your Tranont business.
Because in my mind, I was like, okay, I mean, there's millions of products out there, and everybody will tell you theirs is the best and things like that. So what I tried to do is I tried to take the approach, like, our economy is terrible. Everything's 3 times the price. So I'm like, people need money. So I would lead with business. And look, as I'm speaking to you, I'm preaching to myself what I got to go home and do. But I led with the business, and I was constantly in social media, like how she says, and I was presenting the business more instead of the products, because people were needing money. And then I'm thinking, well, if I help them make money and I help them make a $1,000 bonus, I'll tell them, look, whether you come in, whichever bundle you come in, if you show up, you're going to get your money right back, and you're going to immediately start making money and profit from here on out that you can, bless your family with. So it's like almost like by leading, but my post, pretty much everything I posted would lead with the business. When I would get, when you get paid, you'll share it, hide the dollar amount, but share what you're making. And I've got 2 girls on my team. They're on the same team. One led with the business. She's went all the way up almost to Ruby. The other girl led with products and I don't think she's even gotten her 3 yet. So I found by leading with the business, and then products and customers come later. So that might help, just to lead them.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
The steps, exactly like Aaron said, that the steps he gave were beautiful.
Yeah.
Making sure that before they're putting them in a chat with your upline or with you or whatever, that they've already seen a video. They're in the groups. They've seen the testimonies. That way there's a really good foundation already started. So when they get in there, and then you got to edify the heck out of the person you put them in a chat with, because they've got to feel like they're talking to somebody that can help them change their life. And if you're like, oh, hey, this is my buddy Aaron. Aaron, take over, bud. Yeah. Like, they're like, okay, why does the CrossFit dude get to talk to me, right? Like, they have to know who they're talking to, right? And if you become, I'm telling you, the things that'll change your business, okay? Consistency, period, in all the areas, right? That means every day. And I know you don't want to hear that, but that's just the truth, okay? You become an excellent edifier. You've got an excellent edifier in this business about who you're putting people in front of, and edify them, the heck out of them. And then you've got to become an excellent event promoter. The more butts you can put at seats, the more money you'll make. Because you'll never be able to build somebody's belief the way an event can build somebody's belief. And if you can get really good at those 3 things, you'll be unstoppable in network marketing, really in all areas of your life.
Social media question. So a few months ago, my Facebook account was permanently deleted. Somebody hacked my account. violated Facebook's policy, so permanently delete. I haven't been able to get it back, but I was able to create a new account. I'm just looking for advice. It's because I lost like 4,000 friends, I lost a lot of content, posts and stuff like that. Would it be better to concentrate on rebuilding my Facebook, or maybe would I be better going to TikTok, YouTube, or some other format? Just I'm looking for some advice on that.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry that happened to you, and to prevent it from happening to you again, get your account meta verified. It'll cost you $14.99 a month, but that will help you. Like, if you're gonna run a business on Facebook, have your account meta verified, pay the $14.99, because then if it were to get hacked or anything, you have more resources to get your account back. So that's super important to share. Number two, Facebook is still the #1 platform on social media to grow a business, even though most people think it's for us old folks. I still recruit more people from Facebook than I do any other platform, and so I would absolutely build your Facebook back up. And honestly, the fastest way to really grow your following on Facebook is to do what Facebook's promoting the most, and right now that's Reels. And so you could really grow your following relatively quickly by doing Reels on just whatever you're gonna. It doesn't have to be just about the business. Like, you don't have to overthink this, like, oh, what am I gonna share about the business 10 times a day? Like, whatever you're good at. Like, Aaron can do CrossFit videos, like, without even having to try, because he knows CrossFit, right? Like, just whatever it is that you're good at, you talk about, because you're, like he said, the no like trust factor, you're just drawing them in with the content. Like when I do the Do You Disney every day, it's like, I do that so that the people that love Disney and the things Disney, like, they're attracted to me. So then it's not a stretch for them to buy my product or join my team, because they've already fallen in love with the other content that I've created, right? So just create. You gotta be willing to create the content that Facebook is going to share, and do it consistently, and it'll really help you get those numbers up.
And to Tina's point, I think we overcomplicate it so often. Your people are out there.
Oh yeah.
Your people are out there, and people want to see your life. To you, it's boring, but people. That's why reality TV. That's all we watch now. But here's the thing.
Don't be boring.
Here's the thing. Be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Put it out there. That is where you're going to find your people. But like she said, I mean, insurance people, we all have a passion for something, and those groups, I mean, there's a group for everything. For everything. And don't go in there selling your product. Go in there and meet people. So if you have a big green egg, the groups have like 50-something thousand. Are you in Born to Egg with Rob Green? I mean, that's where you'll find your people. Just get out there and find your people and just be you. People love you for just being you. You're not going to be Tina Joy Carroll. You're not going to be Erin Parker.
Right.
You're not going to be Kathy Parker. But you're going to. There's only one you. God only created one of you, and He has a purpose for you. Your people are out there. Go find them.
And I want to say this real fast, and I had to do Aaron, if I was you, there wouldn't be a day that would go by that my face would not be on social media telling people, look, I'm 80 years old and this is what I'm using.
Yes.
Because it's quite unbelievable how amazing you look. Like, truly. Like, I mean, it's this, like, when I get on there, when I get on any video and I'm like, I'm a grandma of 5, they're like, no, you're not. Like, the shock value of it will serve you so well. You won't even have to worry about these people over here waiting to get their products, because you'll be selling so much products to strangers on the internet trying to look like you at 80. It won't even matter how long they take to get their products and get started.
How do you meta verify? Is that more settings?
Yeah, you can understand.
Okay, thank you.
Just want to piggyback on Dave's question, because he told me I needed to answer this too. So should you rebuild your Facebook? Of course, just like Tina said. And again, success loves speed. Be aggressive, be consistent, doing lives, doing reels, doing posts. I would immediately start trying to find as many of your old friends as possible, right? You know some of them off the top of your head. Start searching, refriending. Then you go to mutual friends. And so you find a friend, and then you go through the mutual friends. You could, within a matter of a month, have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 friends, and now you're building a fresh, new network on your new page, but you've got to be consistent. So you're building your own reality show, right? With all of your content, being authentic, being exciting, and every day you're adding new friends. Okay?
Great, thank you.
You also have a reason to reach out to over 4,000 people now and a reason to create a conversation with them.
Conversation.
To share a short snippet about, my Facebook account got hacked and deleted. Got this new amazing thing going, trying to get my friends built back so I can share with them. That's it. What do you think they're going to ask?
That's so good.
What is this new exciting thing? You're getting ready to be a busy man.
Well, and the other thing I would say on top of that, you actually have a better advantage than everybody in this room, because how many of you know what happens when you make a new friend? Their stuff shows up in your timeline a whole lot more. So you now have the opportunity to make 5,000 friends really fast, and they're going to see a whole lot more of your content than your existing 5,000 would have seen, because that's just how the algorithm works.
Yep.
So you're actually in a really good position. I'm not saying go delete your Facebook. Don't go and delete your account.
Do you have a separate one, or is it just your personal one that you're doing?
Personal.
Yeah, I just use my personal profile.
For everything?
I do.
Wow.
You have an 800 times advantage on a personal profile over a business page. The only way you're ever going to get any traction on a business page is if you pay for ads. It's pay to play.
I agree. Build your personal page. That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's not people out there that don't use business pages. Again, 100 ways to cross the road, but I have built my entire business, a multi-million-dollar business, from my personal Facebook page. And I went from 5,000 followers to almost 30,000 followers since October of last year, and that's because I decided to level up and commit to 3 reels a day, and I did quantity over quality. I wasn't trying to be the best person on reels, I was just trying to be the person that put the most reels out. And eventually, because of how the algorithm works, something hits, and then it takes off, and then you start to get followers. So I did finally crack that code, and that was consistency with reels.
Some people say build a relationship with them. Some people think you are spamming. Sometimes you have the conversation to a point, and they don't respond anymore. So which is the best approach? Building a relationship, or just making your intentions like, I have a business and I'd like to take a look at it? What would be the best way?
I think we can all answer that.
Repeat that.
Yeah, I'll read the question. So she's asking about when you get in Messenger to message people about the opportunity, should you build the relationship, build rapport first, or do you just jump straight in with the business question? And I think it'd be important for us all to answer this question. Again, it's one of those things, they all work. It's how long do you want to take, right? For me, I prefer when people are just direct to me, so I'm just direct with other people, right? And I have found the couple of times, and in 8 years, I literally mean 2 times someone's been offended that I asked the question. And I just said, I really hope your day gets better. I'm so sorry. Like, because I understood in that moment, my message did not send them over the edge. Like, they were already having a really yucky day, and that message just is what had them snap, right? But I prefer that, but I'm not saying it's the only way that works. What do you think?
Well, first off, I'll say, you know that relationship better than anybody up here.
Right.
Okay? So I have some people that prefer me to be direct with them. And they don't want me to ask them how their day is and all this kind of stuff, because they know that I'm about business. And so you're going to know your people better than anybody. And you're going to know how new that relationship is. But most people today on Facebook already know that you're reaching out for a reason. So in my opinion, I'm always genuine. I always try to be upfront, open, honest with people. So I just say, hey, look, I'm curious if you're open to options for yourself. And so you can ask them and take that question. You always open doors with a question. I would encourage you to kind of gauge for yourself how that relationship is, but I have found personally that the more direct I am, the more open people are. Now that doesn't mean once you say something to them about the business and they say, hey, I'm not interested, doesn't mean you can't come back to a personal question, right? Hey, hey, I saw you went on vacation recently, how'd that go? Like, you can back it up with keep that relationship going. But I've always found personally, and I've always appreciated it personally, when somebody was a straight shooter with me and didn't try to, for me it feels kind of gamey, right? And I think it feels the same way for a lot of people. So the more pure, the more genuine, the more transparent you can be to people, that's who they're looking to be in business with. They're tired of all the nonsense out there. So the more pure, the more genuine, the more transparent you are with them, they're gonna connect with you. And honestly, that's the kind of people I want to be in business with, right? So I'll let some other people answer.
Yeah.
That's a great question. And I think the thing you run into is people talk about that building relationship, and relationships are important. But then, and watching, and if you're not sending, if you're messaging people and not getting a result, send what you're messaging to your upline, to someone for them to look at it. Because here's what I've seen. How long do you build that relationship? Is it a day, a week, a month? People have been building relationships in network marketing for 3 years and have never prospected the person.
Yeah.
So how long do you want them to suffer? What's their why? That's the reality. If it's health, how long did I have to suffer going around overweight, knees hurting? I mean, and so to your point, you may talk to them, they may say no, but you don't quit talking to them.
Right.
So I think being direct, because when somebody messages you, hey girl, hey, right, what do you think? How long do you want them to talk to you before they get to the point, right? So that's really up to you. I'm pretty much a straight shooter as well. Now, that's not saying I don't have a lot of great relationships. And I can tell you, a ton of people tell me no all the time. I keep talking to them. They message me, I message them. But why do they get in your messenger in the first place? What did you get there for?
Mm-hmm.
Was it to help them with their health or to help them with their wealth?
Well, if she was doing a cold reach out, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If it's a cold message, yeah. I mean, you're not going to maybe immediately hit them with the business. You're probably going to eventually, though, hopefully quickly share with them, hey, I know we haven't talked in 7 years, but look, I have my hands on something you will not believe. Are you open to take a free look?
Yeah, super simple.
I think it goes back to that slide of belief. How much do you believe in what you have your hands on? And how bad do you want to help other people?
Yeah, I appreciate just get direct to the point, right? At homeschool, I have 2 teenagers. Pray for me, y'all. I have Aaron Parker. He's always hungry. There's always somebody.
Don't talk about food.
Somebody always needs me. Someone's always hungry, right? Like just straight shoot. And that is one thing he taught me because I was always emotionally attached, right? Like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna think? Who cares if they say no, right? This man is so relentless. Like people will ask, well, I sent them a message. I was like straight direct and they didn't respond. What do? This guy will literally go, hello? Question mark. And if they don't reply, like a few days later, he's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you still alive? Like anything to get a response. Like you just gotta get to the point quick. I'll let you talk.
You're talking to a Facebook friend, you're already connected with them. It's going to be a little different than if it's straight cold market. My strategy, same as everything they just said, get to the point. I don't ever beat around the bush or try to build rapport. I never do any of that because I don't want somebody to do that to me. If it's a cold market, which I haven't done in a while because as you get consistent in building your network and you are putting out a lot of content, guess what starts to happen? People start reaching out to you. Okay, so that will happen. As you are consistent, you're putting out a lot of content, you're going to have more people commenting on your post. Hey, what is this? Hey, tell me more. Boom, now you have a qualified lead, right? So, and same thing with Tina. I've built my entire business using Facebook without advertising, without using other platforms. So if it is a straight cold market, which I have done in the past, it is, hey, John, listen, I'm reaching out because I saw you in a group that we're in together. Hey, John, I'm reaching out because name something that you have a connection with, something that you have in common, and, look, I've got something just like what Donnie just said. I've got something really big. Not sure if you're open, but I wanted to reach out, see if you are. Let me know either way. Thanks. Like, it could be just that simple, right? Something that is going to be genuine. If that's probably the biggest piece of advice is be genuine, right? If you're sending a genuine message that is genuinely excited about your information, it's at least going to get them to be curious, right? And what we talk about today, create curiosity. So you're excited, create curiosity, and a lot of times, guess what happens? You are scared out of your mind to do this, but some people are going to respond, and they're going to say, sure, what is it? Tell me more. If it is already a Facebook friend, then it's like, hey, listen, we haven't chatted in a while, but again, we have the scripts. Gave you some scripts today. We haven't chatted in a while. Got something really big. Launching something huge. About to launch a new team. And this is for all of us, even us. We've been in Tranont for a year. Guess what? We're launching a new team, right? We got something really big on our hands. Guess what? We got new products. There's always something new that you can relaunch. I had several people come up to me earlier and they're like, oh man, what you said was great. We got to relaunch. Guess what? So do we. Who's ready to relaunch? Okay? So your messaging that you're sending out to people is you are excited and you're launching something big. Are you open to taking a look? It's that simple. If people don't respond, guess what? That's normal. And like Kathy said, what do? You message them again. They didn't respond. What do? You message them again. John! Exclamation mark. Like that'll be a message. Or hey! Exclamation mark. That'll be the next message. Something to just get them to reply to your message. Get that conversation going.
Yeah.
Last thing is, Mike was talking about this earlier. I help a lot of people on our team with what to say to respond to people. And I invite people all the time. I have someone on our team, almost every few days I get a message and all it is a screenshot. I have a prospect. Here's what they said. What do I say back? And I just tell them what to say. And so find your sponsor, your upline, a leader in your upline who you can say, hey, can I message you some of the conversations I'm having with a prospect? And because they've done it so many times, they're going to be able to give you a quick response to help you maybe tweak a few things in what you're saying to your contacts. Does that help?
And I think it's important for everybody. That's the reason I'm bringing it up. And follow the system. Because no matter what we think we know, we don't know Tranont. Tranont is totally, totally different. I came in and Aaron, bless his heart, I jumped in and I did a post he said to do. And when I signed up the day I first saw he was in Tranont, that night, he and Kathy. And I said, okay, now what do I do? He says, just follow my steps, do this. And I made a post and I got a response on the post. And I said, now what do I do? I think I'm ready to send him my link. No, don't do that. That was literally, I was ready, man. The guy sounded interested. And Aaron said, do not do that. And I said, but no. And then he said, now do this. And I sent him the message that Aaron gave me when I sent him a screenshot of my conversation with the guy. And it turns out, he was my first sign-up. I had never met him. He was in Belgium.
Whoa.
And he was a Facebook friend of my thousands. I had never met him. Somehow he ended up, and he was my first guy. And I ended up double ranking my first 11 days. And I got a Jeep the next week.
Woo!
Wow.
So Aaron's advice, follow his advice. Don't do what you think you need to do. Do what they say to do.
And I just do what Tina tells me to do.
Exactly.
I'm kind of the rookie in the crowd here, and I'm so just excited to be just in y'all's presence and learning from you. And I have to tell you guys, our whole company, all of our leaders, these are just perfect examples of how all of them are, and I'm so grateful. But back to the question. I've always been known kind of like the Saint Bernard and how you doing, blah, blah, blah. So I'm learning today. You too? I'm glad I'm not the only one. In fact, a funny story is when Rhonda Allison texts me, we didn't know each other, and that's the way she started out.
Wow.
It was like, hey girl, I'm just going to make intentional effort to get to know people on Facebook this year. That was in January of last year. We chit-chatted maybe every month, every 2 months, and it wasn't until the 9th month that she said, girl, I got to tell you something. So I know this is the best way they're teaching us, and I'm going to change my strategy for sure. But sometimes you do have people that they take longer. They take longer. So you just have to keep your face in front of them. And the consistency too is what I'm learning. I was midnight in bed the other night trying to turn this mind off and go to bed, and a messenger chat popped up on my phone, and all it said is, "Okay, girl, I'm gonna take the bait. What you got?" I had never once talked to this girl. She was a friend of mine, but not even a close friend. And in the next 30 minutes, she placed an order. So I don't think there's any right or wrong way, but I think speed is the clue here. Let's get in there, let's do it, and don't be ashamed of what you got. We've got something here that we can rock the world with. Just leave a legacy behind, and as all of our leaders here that I'm so grateful that are here have shown us and taught us today. We need to follow the leader for sure.
Quiet, laid back, too nice person. I'm not outgoing. And what some of you have mentioned is pretty bold for me to do. So, but you want it bad enough to stay in. So how do you be more outgoing?
I'd like to introduce you to my friend, Erin Parker, the introvert. If you didn't know, Erin Parker is an introvert, okay? Most people, in fact, are, right? I am not, that's probably very obvious. I am 5% of people in the whole world. And so if my industry was made up of people like me, it wouldn't exist. And so I say that to encourage you because most people are like you. Most of the people I work with are exactly like you. They're not like me at all. Thank God. That'd be quite wild, right? But truly, most people are like you, and that doesn't mean that you can't have as much success as me. So the cool thing, though, about being introverted is we have social media, where we can be exactly who we are behind the lens, right? And we don't have to try to be anything that we don't want to be. And so I would just encourage you to be exactly who you are. That'll attract your people, and you'll attract some big personalities, and you'll attract some people that are just like you. But for sure, the majority of the people and the majority of the top leaders in this industry are very shy and introverted people.
Imagine what you are feeling now times 100 at TLA.
Yeah.
When you are at TLA in Vegas, it's this times 1,000,000. And then imagine what will happen to your business when you have 5, 10, or more people on your team at TLA with you. What do you think is going to happen to your business when you have your team experiencing that? Is your business going to grow?
Yes.
Right. So make sure that you are there. Make sure that you are conveying this importance for your team to be at TLA with you, because this is the difference maker, right? We're all at home doing this thing, and we're on Zooms, and we're trying to do it, and we're alone sometimes, but then we get together in person. It's like I'm meeting people for the first time in person. It's like, oh my gosh, you're real. I thought you were bigger. I thought you were this, blah, 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 right? But it's like it becomes more real for all of us. And so make sure that you remember that feeling, and that you get to TLA and bring your team with you so it can become real for them. Okay?
Yeah. I want you to remember this moment and where you were and the decision you made and the sacrifices you made to be here. Because in this day and time, the most valuable thing we have is our time. And you spent your time in a room with us today. And then number 2, our money. Because we know it doesn't come easy, and we know everything is so much more expensive. So the gas or the travel or the ticket price or whatever it took to get here, I'm just so proud of you for being here and investing in you, in yourself, so that we could all grow together and build this thing together. And just know everything that you want is 100% possible. We should be proof of that. We've shared our complete stories with you, and you know that it's possible for us, and it's absolutely possible for you. So,
Thank you.
Ditto.